We are on. Welcome, everybody. This is
Great here.
And we're here to talk tonight about the DV lottery, folks. So we know some of you will be joining in here in a second. You'll be popping in, and that'll be DV2020 and DV2021 winners. Winners. It's just great to be a winner. I only like winners. I don't like losers. Losers could come in too. So let's talk, Greg, about the election and what that means for DV 2020 first. I'll just start off and pop you in here. The reality is Biden won, but he's not president for
72 days.
72 days. These could be the longest 72 days of your life. Trump just fired the freaking defense secretary today. So, and that's just the beginning. What's going to be a massacre. He's got to blame somebody other than himself. He's like a 2-year-old, without insulting 2-year-olds. So nothing's going to happen. Biden can do nothing. So the first question everybody's asking: will Trump extend the proclamations?
Hell yes.
I think so too. I mean, this guy hates immigrants. He's got to blame somebody.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him do new executive orders expanding on this stuff just to be spiteful.
Maybe he'll get rid of DACA tomorrow. I mean, maybe he'll ban everybody. It's not over yet. The pain is not over yet that he will try to cause him and his immigration brain, little tiny immigration brain, Stephen Miller. So I think it will be extended because that goes to the second question, Greg. Can I buy my ticket and come in on January 2nd if I have my DV 2020 visa?
Well, you can buy a ticket.
Yeah, you bet. If you're going to buy a ticket for January 2nd.
The answer to the first part is yes, you can buy a ticket. Can you enter? Probably not.
Yeah, it better be refundable. All right. And technically the ban ends December 31st. You could literally be on an airplane flying in at 12:01 a.m. on January 1, and maybe you'll get in. I wouldn't do
have a visa stamp.
These are only people that have visa stamps. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Greg, there are a group we'll talk about in a second whose visas are expiring. We'll get them in a second. But those of you who have visas till March, I would just wait. All right, to see. Now we'll know by December 31st if he's going to extend it. If he doesn't, get on an airplane and come. Don't make the mistake that so many of you made before, which was wait. Come to the U.S. and go back home. All right, you make the entry and then go back home, and then you've used it and you're done, and now you've got a green card and you're golden. All right, you can be here for 20. You can get on a flight, arrive, leave 2 hours later, and you're still a permanent resident. Now, the next question that people get is, what about me, Greg? My visa's expiring because I'm Russian or whatever country only got till the end of the year. They only got till 12/31 or 12/30 on their visas. What are we going to do for them?
The ones that had visas that expired before then?
Well, no, there's a group of people who got visas reissued, but only at the end of the year because of their medical exam. And there's probably several hundred, maybe 1,000 of those people at the most. Maybe a couple hundred in our group, but more will come. Now, what happens to them? Basically, on December 15th, maybe even the 1st, you should write to the embassy and say, I need to get my visa extended. Mm-hmm. They will write back and they will say, we can't extend your visa because the lottery's over. Have a nice day. Then you have to email us that exchange by email so we can go back to Judge and say, Judge, we got a problem at the Department of State. We told you this would be a problem. We were very clear this would be a problem. Here's why it's a problem. And what we'll do is resuscitate our class on that people. The one he kind of shut down, but he'll have to resuscitate it because there are a lot of people in this situation. But we're going to need, but nothing now. Don't say anything now. We've decided not to move forward at this moment because we need to be closer to that deadline. All right. Because the judge will say, well, maybe the president withdraws the proclamation. He's only going to act when it's 1,000% necessary. All right.
Yep.
And then it helps us too. And yes, I will be here around Christmas. All right. So don't worry. We're not going anywhere. If I'm going anywhere, it'll be to Utah, which is still in the United States, technically speaking.
Well, we got this vaccine announcement this morning, so like obviously everybody's going to be vaccinated by the end of the year, and we can go anywhere we want
by Friday because COVID's now going away.
I saw the stock market said the vaccine was here.
It's all a myth, Greg. There's no. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm gonna get it. I already have it. In fact, so those are the DV. So what's going to happen with Biden? I don't know. Now Biden. Let's be clear. If Trump extends it, Biden has specifically said that he will end it on the 20th or 21st.
But
still,
the reports from the last 24 hours are that only mention the Muslim ban as on the first day. I would like to get some confirmation from Biden-Harris that they are going to do all of the bans and not just the Muslim ban, the 2017 ban.
Let me call
for sure. We don't know for sure.
I'll call him right now. I'll call Joe. Yes,
There's nothing going on.
Elect. Yes, you confirm that the proclamations are going away. You can't yet. All right, I'll get back in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been telling people it's like until wait until it actually happens, because the guy has got basically 4 years worth of just a mess to clean up, and he can't do it all instantly. Now he can do a lot ahead of time and have a lot of things ready to go. I think the executive orders are probably the easiest thing
because you just got to
get rid of, but it just was telling to me that they didn't mention the other orders. They only mentioned the Muslim ban. Hopefully Muslim ban means all of these bans, and it's just one
everything. I think they've got now. They did say this specifically. They have to be careful about health bans. But when you're the worst freaking country in the world on COVID, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
All right. Give people leave a freaking COVID test.
My guess is that they will replace it with a quarantine, which then.
Greg, I'm going to Costa Rica soon. All right. Costa Rica said, fill out our health questionnaire 2 days before you come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing if the airlines test beforehand and they have quarantining here, that he'll get rid of the bans. It's pretty much anything that Trump has on it is do the opposite. I think is basically going to be the Biden game plan. And my guess is that these travel bans are going to all go away fairly quickly because it's just a Trump signature move, and Biden doesn't want to be.
We'll also be cured by then too.
That would be nice.
By the way, in the United States, Trump paid Pfizer $2 billion for 100 million doses. Which sounds great, except there's 300 million Americans. So I don't know. Are we drawing straws, Greg? Is it a fist fight?
I don't know. Well, we'll see what Joe's got a team. I'm confident that Joe's talking to Pfizer more than Trump is at this point.
Yeah. Well, Mike Pence is in charge. We're golden. So we've got so the next question on DV 2020 is, what is the judge doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
So the judge basically decided to go back to a quasi-normal track instead of the expedited track we were on. And he gave the government in the different cases timelines to write an answer and or a motion to dismiss. Now, they can file a motion to dismiss. They're going to lose that. So it's kind of stupid to do that. But our answer in ACCR is not due until December 13th. So, the reality is that we're going to file a motion for summary judgment probably before then, if we can get enough steam. We got a lot of irons in the fire. But the judge is not going to rule on this before the inauguration. I just don't see that.
You see any chance of any sort of going rogue rebellion, type of thing from DOJ people who are not going to
not a chance.
Stop following orders, or they're just doing what they're told?
The guys that we're dealing with, for the most part, they're career guys. They're in this for the long haul. They just do whatever, and that's obvious from the answers they give the judge. Judge asked this. Judge, we'll have to get back to you on that. I'll talk to our client about that. And state is not going to budge a millimeter on these issues. That's probably a millimeter on these issues because Pompeo's in charge. And so remember, all the good guys left state, the senior good guys. So they got junior good guys, and then they got Trump people. The middle guys aren't there. And so there's nobody to overrule them or say stuff. So no. So the final decision from the judge is a long way away. Now, the 90-95, which I joke with Greg, should be a TV show. It's like the 1,000, the 100, the 90-95, or 90-85. I forget how many there are. Is there a way to get more numbers? Please stop DMing me and messaging me, Mr. Cook, how do I get my visa? How are we going to get more visas? Look, we told you a couple weeks ago, the only way we believe we can get more visas is if Congress gives them to you. And we will work aggressively with the Biden administration and Congress to recapture, just like was done in 1994 after the U.S. Embassy bombings in Africa. They recaptured those numbers. There's a way to do this. I'm confident that Congress is not going to let people out to dry on this. I really am. So keep your faith on that. Don't and stop calling me about it, email me about it. We're going to do our best on that. Now, as to who or how the Department of State is going to 90-95, I don't know. My guess is in order. I think they'll just go in order. And I know that the 6,000 who got visas in September didn't go in order. I know lots of people.
Well, they go in order based on who's in the class.
Right.
Who they know is pursuing.
Well, and the 6,000 in September, it was like a first come. It was a free-for-all. There was guys with really high numbers that got it. I know. But I think what state will do is revert, I think, to a more judicial order. And we will ask them to make sure that every embassy is included, not just the embassies that are open. We shouldn't ignore Egypt just because for some reason in a country with no COVID cases, they're still closed. And yes, Egypt, I know the embassy is not open. And no, I don't know why. And 3, I can't make them reopen. All right, I can't.
I've had a few questions. Can you please tell the judge about Egypt? And it's like,
yeah. Judge, Cairo, Egypt. The ambassador is going to Giza. You can do what our friends in the K1 litigation is they started texting and DMing the Twitter account of the ambassador. So much so they got answers. So,
I think it was effective, actually.
I think it was effective. So, hey, if the ambassador's on Twitter, DM him nicely. All right. So I think we're going to answer some questions here, but I want to talk about DV2021, Greg, because you have big news.
Yes. Enunciato versus Trump.
Ooh, say that name again.
Enunciato versus Trump.
Enunciado, which it means literally announced, like the Annunciation of Jesus. Enunciado versus Trump. So this is a lawsuit we filed this afternoon on family delays in issuing and non-issuance of family-based cases, employment-based immigrant cases, and DV 2021.
There's some DV 2020s too.
And what's that?
There's some DV 2020s in there too.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, there are some DV 2020s in there with very straight. No, don't ask us if you can join.
No, only people that already had visas that were not part of the other case.
We're filing a class action, all right? So it's to include everybody. And obviously the DV 2021 filing is because they're wasting time. They're as what we would call in the United States, Greg, burning daylight. Mm-hmm. They're burning daylight. And they're burning daylight to the detriment of 55,000 people. You can't, technically, you really can't do 12 months of work in 9 months.
Yeah.
And so we're asking the judge to order the consulates to once again go back to issuing visas. The NVC stopped working on cases. Consulate, there's nobody that I'm aware of, Greg, that has been issued a DV 2021.
Yeah, this case is filed in California. It's filed in a circuit that has some good precedent on this issue, and we just got a judge assigned already, Chuck.
Yeah, well, we got a magistrate assigned, not a judge. And so we're going to decide whether we want to keep the magistrate or we want to get it assigned to a judge. I am more preferable to a judge because magistrate, you go to the magistrate, the government doesn't like it, they can appeal to the judge and you start all over again. Not a lot of fun. Trust me, not a lot of fun. Yeah, unless the government agrees that the magistrate's decision is binding, not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I imagine we'll be up against pretty much the same team we've been up against.
Well, I like the magistrate.
Yeah. Well, I do like the magistrate. She'd be great.
Yeah.
Judge might be great too. So that's kind of where we are. So we're going to be filing within the next 10 days, an amended complaint, because we probably have some typos, I imagine. A motion to seal, which means nobody can look at anybody in the complaint other than us, the lawyers. And 3, we're going to be filing a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. And those are going to be filed. So we're going to move forward to those. Now, people ask, Greg, well, Biden won. What do you need to do that for?
Well, first of all, Biden, even if he wants to start, give the green light to the consulates again on there, it could take quite a while. I think, honestly, if we don't do this, people are going to be looking at 4 or 5 more months before they actually start seeing things move.
Easy. Remember, even if Biden says, I know who my Secretary of State will be, she'll get there. She'll get there, and there won't be anybody there.
Yeah.
The senior leadership is gone. So, I mean, they've got so many underlying positions. Now, here's interesting. Greg, there's about 4,000 appointed positions in the government. Trump only ever filled like 1,000 of them. Biden has already identified 4,400 people for the 4,000 positions. That's the difference between good government and no government.
Yeah.
But even then, you got to get in, and you still have COVID issues to deal with in some countries. Even if Pfizer does in fact have a vaccine, I don't know how fast you can manufacture 7 billion doses, but it's probably going to take a while. And I think there's bottles. Like literally, I was reading an article that it's the constraining factor is not the vaccine, it's the bottles that goes in.
Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully, hopefully this is the beginning of the end of that business. But in the meantime, we've got to, I think these consulates, we're going through a wave right now. But by the time in the next few weeks, hopefully we have our hearing. Hopefully we get an order from the judge. By the time that's over, things will be past this latest peak, and hopefully consulates will be resuming some more activity than they have for the last few weeks.
So we're moving forward. That lawsuit's filed, and we will give you updates. Greg, we do have for the DV2021 what we call the IV ban lawsuit. There is a Facebook page.
Yes.
There is a Facebook page for this, and probably I should post that Facebook page here so that folks can log into that. Make sure you're a member of that Facebook page. Okay, go back. Wrong.
We will have information about the case that we're going to start posting there as well.
Yeah. So
we've been working on this thing, and now that it takes a lot of work to file a case for 250 plaintiffs.
So just everybody, here is the comment that I'm posting, hopefully posting. It's kind of, there we go, I posted. That has the link for you to join the 2021 IV ban, because DVs are IVs, diversity visas, immigrant visas, lawsuit. And will be further updates on the lawsuit will be on that page's Facebook. All right. And Greg, of course, has an email list that sends out to everybody. So that's what's going on. We're not going to talk anymore about that lawsuit. I mean, there's other aspects of it. We'll have a different Facebook Live probably tomorrow night on that. Because we want to get Jeff Joseph and Aaron Hall, who've been doing tons of the weightlifting here, Phil's done a ton of the weightliftings.
No, we have a right after this. We have a thing for their lawsuit.
Oh, do we? I don't even know. That's tomorrow.
We have to be done at the top of the hour.
Yeah, so we're going to be done. I'm sure we will be. Let's see. We got some questions here. Hello, everybody. Mohammed, how you doing? Let's see what we got here. Lots of good evenings. DACA. Karina, we're not talking about DACA. It's not a DACA case, but Biden.
Tomorrow night on my Facebook that I do every week on my firm, I'm going to talk about the Biden first 100 days, and DACA will be in that conversation.
DACA's coming back, Greg, and I think it's coming back great. It's not going to come back just like Obama. I think he's going to move the date. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So, hey, Lillian stayed up till 3 a.m. to watch us. Thank you. Lillian. All right. We got Mohammed Seti. I'm DV2020. My case was AP until deadline and passport returned to me. Yes, Mohammed, I think you do have a chance because there's 9,095 visas that need to be issued. And those that literally were on the cusp of getting it should be at the front of the line. That's what we'll be asking the government to do.
Right.
Great question. Mr. Cook and Mr. Gregg, I am DV2020. The appointment. My case remains administrative. Again, there you go. I already answered that question. Yes, it goes.
Yeah, I think the people that have been interviewed are clearly in the best shape of everybody. But we'll have to see what the State Department does.
Okay, Noemi, tune in tomorrow for the answer to that question at 2:00. Coming 2:00. Biden's in the house, baby. Biden is in the house. Natalia, all the work you've been doing. Thanks for keeping us informed, everyone. We love working for you guys. It's just a blast. Just a blast. Oh, I went scroll down too fast there. A lot of stuff. The problem is the people who steal are still in the MVC. Yes, Sarah. The MVC's not stealing.
You should interpret that misspelling in a couple of
stealing your hopes and dreams. Yeah, we know the NVC is specifically mentioned in our lawsuit. Don't worry about that. We talked about 114. Again, Greg.
That's Enunciato versus Trump.
Enunciato versus Trump. Plus, we are hoping that Biden will get rid of that if Trump does, in fact, renew it. By the way, if we win the lawsuit, then the DV2021 visas have to be issued. So there you go. DV2020 people whose documents have been examined by the immigration have not received an appointment, any hope of immigration. Are you referring to the consulate or to the USCIS? If you're talking about the USCIS, your case is over. If you're talking about the consulate, then your case is not over. So your question's a little unclear. Hussein Kus, as we know, barely mentions about DV winners. Well, actually doesn't even mention DV winners. Yes, Greg actually knows people, as do I, on the Biden transition team. And again, we bring it up to him. We don't, everybody is Biden's best friend now. Everybody thinks they supported him from the beginning. Everybody gave him money. And now everybody thinks they can just demand something from him. That's not how things work. But there is a core group of people, good people, that are working on this, that are aware of these issues.
The one thing I'll say about it is that Biden put together the most detailed immigration plan I've ever seen come from a presidential campaign.
Absolutely.
He has very, very good people in terms of their knowledge of the immigration system that are involved with the campaign and presumably on the transition team. So I doubt that they're going to miss too much.
I will tell you that there's a great website, Greg, that I just loaded up here from the Immigration Policy Tracking Project.
Oh, yeah,
Lucas Gutentag, who used to be a senior counsel at USCIS, among David Neal, former head of the BIA. I mean, really high-level people. Our colleague, Stephen Yoler. They have tracked 935 negative immigration changes since 2017. I think they're undercounting, but that's just me. So trust me, there's a list, and Biden has it. All right, there's a list, and Biden has it. Natasha, there's a possibility Trump become president. No. I'm going to put that at 0%. Zero. Greg thinks I'm a pessimist, by the way.
You mentioned to me multiple times over the last 4 years that Trump was getting reelected. I do not forget that. Well,
really, if Biden hadn't stolen the election, he would have. Have you not been paying attention to Fox News? The reality is Biden, compared to Hillary and everybody else, Biden ran the most flawless presidential campaign in modern history.
I made several bets with people that Trump was going to lose re-election that are worth significant money, and I've had them all going to a charity that helps refugees. Not even in my pocket, but I have enjoyed making those phone calls to the people that I had these significant bets with.
You have more
that they have to write these checks now.
All right. Will you be required vaccine for new immigrants? I'd hope you'd want one, honestly. Really. Required? I don't know, but certainly you should get one.
Actually, that's not a bad question because I can see them. They require vaccines for quite a few communicable diseases on there, and COVID would certainly I guess they have to go through CDC on that, Chuck. I don't remember the last time they made an adjustment.
Well, I'm going to wait till CDC is not controlled by politicians.
But that's not a bad. I mean, it's not a bad assumption to assume at some point you're going to have the COVID vaccine in order to be able to immigrate.
Yeah, I would get one anyway. We are the owners of Lottery DV2020, I guess. Recipients coming from files in Kentucky. Have we a chance? If your file from DV2020 is still at Kentucky Service Center, I need to know your number. And I don't think you're going to be one of the 9095, but I remain confident, Greg, that we can get the rest of those visas.
I don't know how many actually are sitting at consulates versus sitting at the Kentucky at the Kentucky Center. So it's hard for us to answer because I don't even know if State really has that information.
Yeah, we'll ask. Greg, Sahir is sorry he was 6 minutes late, by the way.
Sorry, Sahir.
Are we the owners of lottery? We already asked that question. Are you request more visas? We already answered that question. That's Congress. The judge is not going to give us more visas. Youssef, stop asking the question. We saw it the first time. Really, he's reached the yes, we do, Khadija, and we're going to. Greg and I will actually be in D.C. likely in March for what we call Lobby Day, where we actually meet with our congressman. Greg, actually, I was driving home. I was going up to my grandson's blessing in Nashville on Friday. Pick up my it's my congresswoman. Mazel tov, thank you. And my congresswoman called me, Lucy McBath. I love Lucy. I love Lucy. She's really just a remarkable woman. And she just started chatting. Well, what can I do? How can I be better at what I do? And I'm giving her a list of things. And after the end of like 15 minutes, I'm thinking, shouldn't you be going? And she just kept talking. My wife's like hitting me, like, get off the phone with her. 15 minutes. I love Lucy. She's just so wonderful.
She won, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, she won big.
Okay.
Last time.
The first one was tough.
She won by almost 10 points. She's golden. Is there no hope without Congress? That sounds like the title of a despairing love novel.
I'm going to talk about it tomorrow night. There is a lot a president can do without Congress.
Yeah.
As we just saw, Trump did not pass a single bill in his entire 4 years on immigration and managed to completely screw up the whole immigration system. Presidents have a lot of power on immigration.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Previous presidents were reluctant to exercise that power.
Yeah.
Now, because they were afraid, particularly Democrats, Republicans are going, you're just being a king. You're a king. You think you're a king. Well, you know what? King Trump got deposed, so let's go King Biden. Let's do what we can do here.
Yeah.
And I think she's referring to the additional visas, which I do believe have to come from Congress. I mean, we'll ask the judge to reconsider the number, but I'm not going to hold out any hope there. ¿Cuándo va a estar en vivo en español? Brenda, miércoles. All right. What about expired visas due to COVID? We already talked about that. And we have a lot of people in Cuba that couldn't get out. Again, those are the visas we want to get reissued because they're not counted against the cap.
Yeah.
If they're not going to reissue those, they need to add them to the 9095. And since you're already documentarily qualified, you should be interviewed again. So again,
the judge is going to be pretty sympathetic to that group.
We're gonna need more help on that. I know you don't work in Las Vegas. It'll be fun. I don't know. It's not going to be till after the inauguration, I think. Martina, sorry, I hate when you see sponsored posts from embassies. Sponsored posts from embassies. Oh, I know what she's talking about. Apply for the diversity lottery so we can screw you. So Martina, Trump will help us on. Biden will help us on that. New lawsuit. Too late to join the new lawsuit? Yes, it is, but you don't need to be in it. We got your covered. Best guess. I already answered that. Who are the owners? Yosef, come on, man. Oh, because we didn't see it the first 4 times. Harry isn't. Thank you very much. Hello. Is it Ramy Sammy? Ramy Sammy? I don't know what that is. ¿Cuándo va a estar en vivo? María, el miércoles estoy en vivo. What is going to happen? Already expired due to COVID. Again, you asked that question already, Katia, 10 seconds ago, and we answered it. Sand dune. Really? Sand dunes?
That's
Saudi Arabia? I'm just curious.
That could be true.
That's very, very clever. Sand dunes. Any possibility of qualifying path to permanent if you lived in the United States for 10 years? No! There is no match. It is hey, Mr. Immigration Man, I have hid for 10 years. Nobody found me. Can I have my green card now?
Yeah.
No!
Well, my wife grew up with somebody named Sandy Beach, and she had a brother named Rocky Beach.
No way. That's just those are parents that are awesome. Let's see. Britt Simon explained the case they should send secondals. I don't know what secondals are. Scheduling interviews. That must be a curious. In November, if they will start in January, they're going to do that or just ignore scheduling. Great. We'll talk to Britt Simon about that. That's a good question. All right, Uriel Hernandez. Okay, Uriel, this is not the day for general questions. I'll answer that offline. Mo, thank you for Mo. I remember Mo. Mo, how you doing? Take the all people analysis. Yeah, we'll work on that. Sabi Sahili, thanks so much. Possible join. You don't need to join. You're going to be at the class action, and I know they're running out of time. Corey Lance, when do you think Bezos will be allowed to enter? We already talked about that. I think and I don't think it'll be till after the inauguration, personally. Can who be issued visa be paid a green card fees and book a flight? Look, if you want to book a flight, go right ahead, but make sure it's fully refundable. Don't book a non-refundable ticket.
Or book a flight into after the inauguration, at least.
Yeah, I mean, don't do that. Where'd it go? Come on, I lost my place here. Let's see. I see a lot of DV21 participants who have high case numbers. Yeah, well, because they decided to join the lawsuit. I mean, we put it. It's not like we didn't put the word out, right? I mean, it's been out for like a month and a half. So, I mean, plaintiffs will go first. It is. But I don't know. The thing is, we're going to remember, in the last lawsuit, everybody was current. Everybody was current. And right now, they're not. They're only like numbers 400 or 6,000 or something. So I think state's still going to take them in order, but we'll know more. Biden is not going to close the country for COVID. It's not. I just don't see that. That's not the answer. The answer, because that shuts down tourism. Trump did that because he didn't want any immigrants coming.
It's going to be all about testing and masks.
Testing en masse is the way to do it. Testing it. Look, if China can do it, if Costa Rica can do it, if New Zealand can do it, come on, people. It's not that hard. Embassies, again, embassies are closed because states let them close. They say, no, find a way to do these visas. Do electronic interviewing. Greg's already written about this extensively. There's ways to do this. They can do their job without the embassy being physically open. When did 2020? Already answered that. Some of my followers are clients of yours. They always ask me about updates. They're mostly Arabs. I promise to pass it. Greg, how's your Arabic, man? Greg speaks Arabic. Like, it's Russian you speak. Assalamu alaikum. That's all I got. That's all I got. Do they talk about the new lawsuit? We already issued that. How is going to lift the ban? I got my visa September, expires in March. Sophia, you're going to be fine. Let's see. We should great book a flight. You already asked that question. Don't be booking your flights. Let's see. Sorry to clarify. Not Enunciato. Enunciado. Hey, Anunciado. Go to my Twitter. Go to Greg's Twitter. There's a link on there. It's right there.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Biden. Lecture that more detail. Yes, thank you, Hussein. Can the plaintiffs benefit the class action? You will. Yes. Can those who should be able to play green card fees? You already asked that question. Rahm is going to be a problem. Yeah, Rahm Emanuel is a massive.
I don't know that was. I've only seen one report of that. I don't know if that's
a balloon. That was a balloon going up, and I think it was used to judge the reaction.
Yeah, there weren't too many people that were cheering.
Miss Cortez, she said, "No freaking way will the liberal progressive arm of the party allow him to be in this administration."
Yeah,
he has no business being in there. It's bad enough his brother's in there. We don't need him in there too.
Zeke is okay. They're not the same.
Ezekiel Manuel is the brother of Rahm.
Yeah, but he's okay.
One Emmanuel is enough. Okay.
The other one's an agent in Hollywood. He's the one that's doing the best.
Yeah, somebody said something the other day. They were looking at the Biden victory thing, and all of the Bidens came on stage, and they said, "Oh my goodness, look at all the Bidens." Then they realized, I don't have to know any of those names because none of them are going to be paid White House. All right, we want you guys in the KCC.
Carter, nobody ever knew that he had older children.
Yeah, he's got a lot of children. A friend of a friend entered the country tour visa. I have no idea, Salvador. That's not a DV 2021 question. What about DV20? How much visa will give? Well, all 55,000. I hope. Can those who issue the visa?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's stop for a second on that one for DV 2021. So, Chuck, I mean, I've had people wondering about the disruption with DV 2021 that we've seen to this point. Once they start resuming on everything, do you have any tips for people that, in terms of maximizing the opportunity to get a visa when they're only going to be operating for 2/3 of the year, basically, on those cases.
I would make sure that everything you have is at the NVC. I mean,
be ready before you're at the point that you need to be submitting.
Make sure you have everything. Britt Simon's got a great website. I think it's at a Twitter page.
Get police clearances, get everything that you need before you get the notice that
long form birth certificates. For those of you from the British Empire. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Why does Trump not want to leave?
Because he doesn't want to go to prison.
He doesn't want to go to jail, I guess. I always say this, Greg. I love Peru. I'm a big Peru in my heart. And one thing I love Peru is that every ex-president's in jail. Every one of them. The current president's probably going to jail. We don't do that in America. We tend to forgive our ex-presidents and let them live their lives. And
jail is really nice there.
Peru's awesome, but everybody's corrupt. So politics are
really nice.
Now that Evo Morales has gone back to Bolivia, maybe Trump could go to Mexico. Wouldn't that be ironic? K1 visa. Stay tuned, Donna. We're waiting on.
Oh my God, we are so impatient, just like you.
We're going to ring the court tomorrow just to kindly ask. But you don't ask judges. We're just going to kindly ask a clerk if.
Hey, Judge, how you doing?
About this. KCC asked for DV2020, not received my interview date. I mean, you just got to keep waiting. I'm going to say, if you're DV2020, don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. If you're DV2021 and you have number 120,000, you're probably not getting a visa. I mean, honestly. Even Britt Simon says that because they notified like 130,000 people. Now, Greg said, look, they try to count. They try to be accurate.
I also have a theory on that, which is that a lot of people, they picked more people because they were anticipating there would be a lot of people that changed their minds because of COVID.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You got to remember, the entry period was pre-COVID. The selection period was in COVID. So, they got the application pool assumed that, they didn't have COVID in mind when they were filing these things. That's why they did that bigger number than normal.
Well, and they thought Trump would win re-election. Who would want to come to the United States if Trump was president? Now, here's a question for you, Greg. It's a J1 question.
Oh, where? Au pairs. Yeah. So, all right. Can we have the J visa without? Even the family doesn't apply for exemptions from Mexico. So, au pairs. It's an interesting problem. It's they were covered in the NAM lawsuit. But only one au pair agency was in there. I forget which one it was. Intrax, maybe. I forget which agency it was. However, if your agency that was sponsoring you is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, you should be covered on that. However, we have heard problems. Actually, I have an open email that's in draft right now to send to Paul Hughes, who's a lawyer on that case, asking him. They had a hearing last week in front of a judge about problems with the State Department not administering the settlement, not the settlement, but the judge's order correctly. So I want to find out from Paul whether they've heard anything yet regarding what's happening with all these people who are supposed to be covered under the lawsuit, but they're still not. The consulates are giving them problems on it.
Did Judge White take that as well as Judge Mehta did?
I haven't heard yet. That's why I want to talk to you.
I'm curious how you took that.
So the answer is I don't know for sure yet on what's happening now. A lot of the Brazilians, have a separate travel ban that they're dealing with on top of the other one, and that's not affected by that case. If you're not from Brazil, though, and you're not getting processing, and you meet the exception for the Chamber of Commerce stuff, then you need to be a NAG and bother your agency and find out what they're doing. And and Paul Hughes, the lawyer, probably. I don't want to stick everybody on Paul, but I know he was interested in getting examples of things that consulates were telling people about why they were not honoring the lawsuit, honoring the judge's order. So,
all right, Greg, I'm from a Muslim country. Maybe canceled by the I have a ban. Yeah, I do. But it's not going to be after January. after January 20th.
Yeah.
Judge Mate will give the verdict. When will he probably get there? Folks interviews you. I don't know. It's not happening until Biden's in office. All right. That's just, and I'm thinking probably, and Greg said earlier, probably March is what I'm thinking. Probably March, when they'll be trying to do all of these visas and a whole year's worth of DV2021 at the same time, plus all of the IVs for employment-based and family-based visas.
The one thing I will tell you, Chuck, that because my daughter worked at a consulate, she's kind of knows a lot of people in foreign service land, and there were a ton of people, as you know, that left, but there is a huge number of people that want to get back in now, back into the foreign service. They are going to be flooded with applications for people that want to be consular officers. So it's just a question of like onboarding them on there and how quickly they can do it. There's definitely, they're not going to have any problems finding people.
We may need, again, consular congressional help to extend the DV2021 deadline as well, just so all those people get processed. Mm-hmm. When will the hearing be on the travel ban of the lawsuit we filed today? The answer is, I don't know.
Won't be long.
No, I would guess probably a month, 3 weeks to a month. We've got, Faye, come on, baby. Stop asking the question. I already answered that. So here, tell us that Arab Facebook groups owners played a big role in putting pressure on Arab business owner to vote blue. Yes, way to go, Michigan. Awesome. Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Michigan.
Big updates. All right, Marileth. Pero no quieren darnos pasaportes nuevos. Marileth, no podemos cambiar el problema en Venezuela. I mean, lo siento, no tengo una solución por esto. I'm a Fong Jong plaintiff. If your case, all of us are benefiting. Mohammed, you should ask the Fong Jong lawyers that question, not the Acker lawyers. All right. Remember, we filed the class action. They didn't. And if you're a plaintiff, you should be included in that. When you open a lawsuit for we did. We filed it today, Ezgi. Today. All right. Fokker loves us. We're both married, by the way, so we're taken. Mr. Cook, when was the expiration? No, we already answered that question. Au pair, Fernando, we already asked that. Not interview date, we already asked that. Any updates on the K1 visa litigation? Arnold, no.
Soon.
Well, soon. I know how frustrated you are because I'm getting all the emails. Confirmation for my interview case, 49,000. Rich Simon says that if we can get the numbers restored, that we should be able to get everybody in, is what he thinks. So I think that's a paraphrase. And the last one, I didn't put my case number in the lawsuit declaration. Do I have a problem after judgment? Nabil, if that is a DV 2021 issue, you should email to Phil Cook, P. Cook, P-K-U-C-K.
Yeah, we'll have an amendment. Any information that we were lacking.
Update that, please. Update that. All right, Greg. Oh, we got some more new comments here. I don't know how, man. Let's see.
A little bit of time.
I'd like to see Trump crying it's revenge for all the let's see. So yeah, the number, I don't know who's going to get it. All right. I can't answer those questions. We just don't know. All right. Been great tonight, Greg. Thanks for all your hard work.
Right.
Joseph is not
I'll see you again in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got time to go to the bathroom. That's awesome. Our colleague, Jeff Joseph, who's done just yeoman's work, an extraordinary lawyer.
Yeah, you don't know how great this guy is.
I mean, he's just
he's not on Twitter like Chuck and I are that much. He's on a little bit.
He's on a little bit, but now Aaron Hall.
It's because he's getting a whole lot of stuff done.
Yeah, Aaron Hall, his partner, has been a big. Aaron wrote.
Aaron is on Twitter a lot. He's a great person to follow.
He's a great person. He's very insightful on Twitter. I think it's Imlaw Hall, I think is his Twitter.
Yeah.
Look for Aaron Hall. And you guys have a great night. Greg, we're going to do another private one tomorrow. I think a couple of them on the IV ban and the 01s. And we're going to go from there. So everybody have a great night. As soon as we have more information, we will be back.
All right.
More then. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Greg.